Okay, hey mom, welcome to round 17,000 of us teaching business law. Yay!
Yay.
Okay, in today's class we'll be learning about introduction to agency law. Hooray!
Woohoo.
So we're switching gears a little bit. But a quick overview, an agency relationship is like an agent agrees to represent a principal individual. So agency law is like you authorize me to do something in behalf of you to
Like
represent.
be my insurance agent.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yep. Um, so
Can I
that's
get
like
credit for this class when we're done?
I'll talk to my professor.
Okay, thanks.
We can
Okay.
ask him.
Okay. All right.
But an agency relationship, so like I said, is an agent agrees to represent a principal individual. So I would be the agent of you as a principal individual. Um, Fiduciary? I don't know how to say that, but
Fiduciary.
wait, you say it. Say it.
Fiduciary.
Yeah, that one. That kind of relationship is where the principal, so like you, give authority to an agent to act in behalf of them. And so
The
it's built on
financial stuff, right?
a foundation. It's built on a foundation of
Uh-huh.
trust and confidence. And then employees are typically agents for the company. So that's kind of the basics. How to create an agency relationship. So an agency relationship is a consensual, voluntary relationship between an agent and another party. And so note, if someone can't act for themselves, they can't enter into an agency relationship.
Okay.
And that's the same with like contract law is like if somebody can't like think for themselves or a minor, like they're not like legally authorized to act for themselves, then then they can't enter into an agency relationship.
Okay.
So agency by agreement is express agency. So that's like we write out a contract, we both sign it, we're like,
Uh-huh.
so there's express agency. It lets the agent make decisions in place of the principal. There's a power of attorney, so a signed document that gives power to an agent to make legal decisions in their absence. So kind of like the missionary, like when you go on a mission, you have a power of attorney.
Uh-huh.
And then the durable power of attorney is usually like with health related problems. So it's like when I'm incapable of making those decisions, you have continued authority to make those decisions for me.
Okay.
Agency by implied authority is like it's never written out, but both parties act congruent with that like standard of relationship. And then agency
Uh-huh.
by estoppel. This one was actually really fascinating. So it's like,
Oh, heard
so
that
if
word
you
before too.
say that somebody's your agent, like, but they're actually not, but the claim is reasonable enough that like a reasonable person would believe it, you can't you can't like be like, but they actually weren't my agent.
Yeah. If
So
I Okay, so if I say that you're my agent and I make people believe it, gaslighting them,
mm-hmm.
then when it comes down to it and
And
you
then
do
we make a
something on
deal,
my
me and
behalf,
them. Uh-huh.
then there's no going back on it.
Yeah, you're stopped from it.
Hmm.
And then agency by ratification. So I don't have authority to buy the car, be like, oh yeah, my mom really wants to buy this car. Like she'll definitely buy it. And I sign a deal that you're going to buy it. You can be like, Becca, that was dumb. You're not my agent. And you can say no. Or you can say, oh yeah, this is actually a really good deal and I really want that car. And then
Hmm.
you ratify it by like agreeing to it. And in
Mhm.
that process, you make me your agent for that situation.
Hmm. Okay.
Okay, an agency relationship helps us understand when an agent binds. Wait, what? Helps us understand when an agent binds the agreement in behalf of the business. So basically, like you need to define like what is the relationship between the individual and the principal. So there's a couple of different like so you need to know if they're an employee or not, basically. So an employer-employee relationship, the employee is an agent. An employer to an independent contractor, um, like the independent contractor is not an agent. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So determining your employee status is super important. And a quote from the book says, determining whether a worker is an employee or an independent contractor is an important decision because it affects payroll taxes, liability, and unemployment qualifications. So like benefits of like both is, or I guess understanding the difference between the two is an employee has discrimination rights. Like OSHA protects them and then
Uh-huh.
benefits, but an independent contractor doesn't have benefits and they file taxes independently. And
Yeah.
so basically, if the employer has a lot of control over the work that the employee does, then they're an employee. But if
Okay.
it's kind of like you're the professional, I've hired you to do your professional job, they're an independent contractor.
So like a subcontractor?
Hey, Graham.
Yes.
So
This one.
my niece is attending this class as well.
Yeah. Yes.
So agent to the principal. So there's an agent to the principal and then principal to the agent. There's different responsibilities.
Go ahead. We're recording.
And so for agent to the principal, there's a duty of loyalty. So like being true to the agreement, a duty of performance, and the duty to not be negligent. So like to actually perform the task that they've been given. A duty of notification. So like giving an accounting for what you've been agreeing to. So I'm like, hey, by the way, I made this deal with so and so. Like I have a duty to account to say that to you. And a duty of accounting. So notification is like saying, hey, I've done this, and then accounting is like, hey, here's the record of how I've done everything. And then a duty of obedience to like let the pros be pros. Principal to the agent is a duty of compensation because money. Duty of reimbursement for the things that they've done, and a duty of cooperation. So it's like if you've hired an agent or if you have an agent, your duty as the principal is to like give them everything that they need, but an agent to the principal is to like do the things that they've asked you to do. And then I don't think we have time for this, but there's contract liability and then there's tort liability. So contract liability, it like you classify the principal and then you decide if they agree to the actions. With tort liability, the key thing to remember, and this is from the book, a key thing to remember here is that everyone's liable for their own tortuous conduct. And so like if there's a tort liability, it's like you're responsible for the actions that you've done. So whether as an agent or principal. So thank you for attending my class.
Thank you.
No questions today. Love ya.
Love you. Bye.